Okay, so if you're a developer who's been playing around with AI, you know the dream, right? You want to run the biggest, baddest models right from your own laptop. But you also know the harsh reality. Well, today we're going to break down how Ollama Cloud is stepping in to fix that exact problem. So let me just ask you, have you ever seen one of those massive, state-of-the-art models, a trillion parameters, and just thought, I have to run that? You get all excited, you type in the command, you hit enter, and then boom. Reality hits you like a ton of bricks. Your fans just go crazy, your whole system slows to a crawl, and your machine pretty much just laughs in your face. The ambition is there, for sure, but the hardware just can't keep up. It's this fundamental bottleneck that, honestly, we've all slammed into at some point. All right, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll kick things off with that local AI bottleneck. Then we'll introduce Ollama Cloud as the solution and meet the new models. After that, it's the main event, a head-to-head performance showdown. And we'll wrap it all up with a super practical playbook to help you pick the perfect model for whatever you're building. Okay, first up, let's really dig into this problem. It's that moment we all know and hate, where your best ideas are literally being held hostage by the physical limits of your computer. And you feel this frustration in a few key ways, right? Obviously, you can't run those huge, powerful models. Your inference times can be so slow, it just completely kills your productivity. If you're on a laptop, forget about it. Your battery life just evaporates. And the worst part? The scope of what you can build isn't defined by your own creativity, it's limited by your machine's specs. And that is exactly where Ollama Cloud comes into the picture. The whole idea here isn't to replace your local setup, but to give it superpowers. It's about supercharging your terminal with direct access to data center level power. So what are we really talking about? Well, these cloud models are a brand new thing in Ollama. When you call one of them, all the heavy lifting, all that intense processing gets automatically offloaded to Ollama's cloud service. So you get to keep using all your favorite local tools, but now you can run these enormous models that you'd never, ever be able to fit on your own machine. And getting started is, well, it's ridiculously easy. Step 1, make sure your Ollama is updated to the latest version. Step 2, pop open your terminal and run Ollama sign-in. And step 3, you just run a model exactly like you always do, but you stick a -cloud suffix on the end. That's it, you're done. Now let's meet the team. Instead of just giving you one or two options, Ollama has rolled out a whole suite of models. Think of it like a team of specialists, each with different strengths, all ready for your command. So for our big performance test, we've got 7 contenders in the ring. They range from a really zippy 20 billion parameter model all the way up to an absolutely massive 1 trillion parameter beast, plus a few specialized coding models in there too. We're going to put this whole diverse lineup through its paces. All right, this is what you've been waiting for, the main event. We're done with features, let's get into the hard data. How do these 7 models actually stack up in a head-to-head battle across 70 different tests? Let's find out. And the results are, well, they're pretty fascinating. Taking the gold medal is GPT-oss 20B Cloud, with an absolutely incredible average response time of just 1.09 seconds. This thing is built for production. In second place, its bigger brother, GPT-oss 120B Cloud, gives you a bit more power for just a tiny bit more time. And check this out. In third, the 1 trillion parameter model, Kimi K2, proves that even a giant can still give you super quick answers. But let's be totally clear here. This wasn't even a close race. The GPT-oss 20B model was the undisputed champion. It wasn't just the fastest on average, it was the top performer in 9 out of the 10 different test categories we threw at it. Everything from math to creative rating. Just total domination. And this chart really just says it all, doesn't it? It shows the massive performance gap. You've got the fastest model clocking in at just over a second. Then you've got the slowest GLM 4.6 taking over 7.5 seconds on average. That's a 7x difference in speed. For any app where latency is a factor, that is an absolute eternity. So this brings us to the most important thing, the one single takeaway from all this data. And it's this: a bigger parameter count does not automatically mean better performance, especially when we're talking about speed. That smaller 20 billion parameter model consistently ran circles around models that were dozens of times its size. But, and this is a really important but, while the speed was all over the place, the quality was not. Every single one of these 7 models passed all 70 tests with a 100% success rate. What that tells us is that the underlying platform is rock solid and reliable.
The main choice you're making here is about speed and the style of the model's reasoning.
Okay, so now let's take all this data and turn it into something you can actually use, a practical playbook. Because knowing the numbers is one thing, but knowing how to apply them, that's what really counts. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job. And that gets us to the core philosophy here. You have to stop asking, what's the best model? And you need to start asking, what's the right model for this specific task? Because the answer is going to change depending on what you're trying to do. So here's your first big trade-off: speed versus reasoning. If you're building a production app, or integrating with a website, or doing a ton of batch processing, you need speed. No question. GPT-oss 20B is your go-to. But if you're doing deep strategic analysis or complex research, where the thought process is just as important as the final answer, then the slower, more thorough DeepSeek v3.1 is absolutely the right choice. All right, the next choice you have to make is between a specialist and a generalist. If your main goal is generating or debugging code, you go with the purpose-built QN3 coder. Yeah, it's a bit slower, but it's a specialist. For pretty much everything else, where you just need a great balance of speed and detailed answers, that GPT-oss 120B model is a fantastic all-rounder.
And here it is, the cheat sheet that brings it all together. This is the slide to screenshot. Building a production API, GPT-oss 20B. Need to see the step-by-step logic for a complex problem? DeepSeek. Writing code? Qwen3 Coder. And, interestingly, if you're just learning and you want the most detailed educational walkthroughs possible, the slowest model, GLM 4.6, actually becomes the perfect choice for the job.
So let's boil this all down to 3 key takeaways. Number 1, with Ollama Cloud, your local terminal now has a direct line to data center level AI power. It's a game changer. 2, for raw speed and efficiency, especially in production, GPT-oss 20B is the undisputed champion. And 3, and maybe most importantly, bigger isn't always better. You have to match the model's strength to your specific task. So we'll leave you with this one thought. That hardware barrier that has been limiting your projects forever, it's basically gone now. You literally have the power of a data center sitting right there in your terminal. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?